Aloha, this is Richard Halverson. This is ICS321. And today I'm going to start you off with assignment 4.1. And so let's look at the assignment. And it's right here. And so I'm talking about this assignment here, procedures. And so we're going to start with the same database that we had for assignment 3. And we're gonna so I just have this up here for reference. We're gonna use the same database, and we're gonna create a stored procedure named this, and it's gonna take in these first three arguments, these first three parameters, a campus, a cuisine, and a place, and it's gonna return an error code and a message. And the message will be a description of what happened, success or something else. The error code, though, is what we can look at, and it'll be 0 for no error. It'll be a 1 if there's already a cuisine of that type at that campus. For example, UHM already has a burgers place, and if we try to enter in, McDonald's Manoa Marketplace for burgers, it'll reject it because there's already a burgers place at UHM. Second, if the place is already in the database as a different name. So if we try to enter in, Kentucky Fried, if we try to enter in, Teddy's Bigger Burgers as a Mexican place, it's not going to accept it because Teddy's Bigger Burgers is already in there as a burgers place. So that's error number 2. Error number 3 is if the place is already in the database for that campus and cuisine. So error number 3 is if you just try to enter the same place in again at that campus. All right, so let's get started. And then after that, we're going to write a little program here. This is to start you out for you to test your procedure. Stored procedure using a web page. So let's get started. Here's my assignment 3 campus database that we created earlier. And if we click on browse here, we can see this is a view of all the data that we have in there. We've got some extra data in here, I think, because we've tested. I think I actually have McDonald's Manoa Marketplace in here. And campus places, these are all the places, and so on. So you don't see Manoa Marketplace in here because UHM already has Teddy's. All right, so let's go back to the database up here, and then let's click on routines, and we're going to add a routine, and the name of the routine is going to be this add place. In fact, I'm going to copy this whole thing here. Copy. And I'm going to put it in as a comment. So I'll begin. And then I'm going to put it in as a comment. Just so I know it, this is the name of the copy paste. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 2 are out. These are all varchars. These are all varchars. They're all varchars. This is named. Now I've actually added a 1 after these parameters because this MySQL gets confused if a parameter is the same name as is exactly the same name as a field name. and you're trying to compare, like if the field name, like in a where clause, if the field name is equal to the parameter name, it gets confused. So, so I just added a 1 after that to make it a little different. The first one is going to be campus, the campus, and that's going to be about 20. Cuisine is about 20. And place, I think, was bigger. I think I made that 50. The output parameter error does not need to be very big, maybe 2. The message out, though, should be pretty big. Let's make it 200. Okay, so that's the output. All right. Okay, so to get started, this is going to be a transaction. So I'm going to start transaction. And then, so to begin with, let's just initialize some of these variables here. I think I'm going to indent this way. No, I guess I should do that. Error, set error equal to no error. Set message equal to no message. And this I'm referring to this, and this I'm referring to this. If we want to declare variables inside this procedure, we precede it with an at sign, an at sign. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to check to see if place and cuisine are in the place cuisines table. So so I'm going to set, and I'm going to try to read it out if it's in there. So if I'm going to call it, if place cuisine is in the place cuisines table, I want to grab out the cuisine because I want to check to make sure, check if it's in there. If it is in there, I want to make sure that the cuisine type is the same as what's coming in. So I'm just going to say cuisine equals select cuisine from place cuisines that where place equals place 1, close parentheses, semicolon. So this is going to read cuisine from place cuisines, where it's going to try to find the place, try to find this place in place cuisines. If it's in there, it's going to return the cuisine. If it's not in there, then this cuisine is going to be null. So the first thing I can do is, if it's not in there, if cuisines, if this cuisine variable is null, then we know it's not in there, and we can add it in there. Insert into place cuisines, and I'm going to use the set, this notation for inserting. Set place equals place 1, comma, cuisine equals cuisine 1. All right, so that should work. Else, I got to make sure that, okay, it's in there. I got to make sure the cuisines match. So I guess I can do, I'm going to do it this way. If, can I just do else if? I guess I can. I'm going to see if it works. Else if cuisine the one I just read out, if that's equal to what came in, if it's not equal to what came in, then we're in big trouble. I'm going to put parentheses around that. If the cuisine we just read out does not match what was input, then we got a problem here. We're going to say that set error, the error code, is now equal to what is it, 2? Place is already in as a different cuisine. Error code 2. And we want to set message equal to something. And I'm going to say message is equal to, we're going to concat some stuff. Place one is already in the database as a ampersand cuisine. All right, that's good enough. So that's the message, and I'm not gonna. Okay, so I've set the error message, and so at this point, oops, didn't mean to do that. End if, this is end if. At this point, the error code is equal to 0, or the error code is equal to 2. If it's so we only want to continue if the error code is equal to 0. If the error code is equal to 2, we're done. Okay, we aren't going to do anything more. So I can say if error is equal to 0, then continue. Then we're going to continue on here. And when we continue on, the place will be in the place cuisines table correctly. And now we can go ahead and try to, let's check to make sure that the place is not in the database already. So I'm going to do set. I'm going to create a new variable called already equals select. I'm just going to count from. I can use my view CC places where campus, big one, campus equals campus1, and cuisine equals cuisine1, and place equals place1. All right. So if count is either going to be returned 0 or 1. 0 if it's not in there, 1 if it is in there. And if it's 1, that means it's already in there. That means we're done. So that means we got an error message again. Set error equals, and this time it's equal to 3. It's already in there. And set message equals concat place1 is already in the database as a cuisine1 place at campus one. So there. And that's the error message. So now we have another error. So let's so we can do and let's just end this if. And let's do again if error is still equal to 0. Then let's go and try to insert the rest of the stuff. Insert into, so I'm gonna insert into campus cuisines, and I'm gonna set campus equal to campus 1, comma, cuisine equals cuisine 1. Okay, so insert that in. And if it fails, okay, so we're going to do this one, and then we're going to do insert into campus places, set campus equal to campus 1, and place equal to place 1. Okay, so, and then, all right, so I'm going to end this. And I'm going to come back up and finish this in a moment. So that's the end of that if, and then we need an end to the, then we need to, and then we need to commit the transaction. And then we end the procedure. All right. So this is begin end. And this starts a transaction, and this commits a transaction. All right. I'm going to test to make sure this is accepted. It's not. So to be able to see what that is, oh shit. I just fucked it up. All right, let's I'm gonna quickly do this again. Add place. And I'm gonna cheat. I'm just gonna paste this in and I'll explain it. I need to put 5 more parameters here. This is gonna be in campus 1. And this is gonna be cuisine 1. And this is place 1. And this is error, and this is message, and this is a varchar, and this is a varchar, and this is a varchar, varchar. This is 20, 20, 50, 2, 200. This is an out, and this is an out. Is this accepted? Okay, good. This is accepted. Let's go back and edit it. And this is a little different than what I did earlier. Let me, the transaction starts here. I'm going to pop this back. That's right. Let me close this. This is a little bit. I'm gonna switch. Stop sharing. Still recording. I'm gonna share this screen, and let me move this over to this screen. And I'm gonna move my notes over here. All right. Okay. Now let's edit this procedure. And this looks a little better, a little easier. The problem is when you mess with it like this, then the editing gets all messed up. See, this is off different places. I'm going to copy this back out of my notes again. Copy, and I'm gonna select all, edit, and paste it in this way. Okay, so now we should be able to see it reasonably enough. All right. So I'm just gonna explain this now. Okay. So we started the transaction. We set the error equal to 0. We set the message equal to 0. Here we check to see if the place is in places cuisine, and I had this differently. I'm gonna make it the way I had it. This was a cuisine. This was cuisine, and this is, I'm actually reading out the cuisine. And where place is equal to that. And if cuisine is null, then we insert it in. Otherwise, if it's not null, then we have to test to see if cuisine, if the place is the same cuisine as what came in here. So we're taking in a place and a cuisine, and if this place is already in there, we got to make sure that the cuisine matches. So we have already read in this. We have already read in the cuisine, so I don't need this again. If the cuisine that we read in, or that we pulled out of the database, is not equal to the cuisine that was just input, then we have an error. Place 1 is currently in the database as this, what we just read out, and not this. Set the error equal to 2. All right. So now, next, I'm going to check to see if the place is already in the database. The whole place, the place 1, cuisine 1, and campus 1. I think in my previous one I had if, I had the test. If error still equals 0, then we gonna check to see if it's already in there, and if it is already in there, we're gonna set this error saying that it's already in there. All right, let's go back, and then now, so we're done testing that, and so at this point, the error is going to be, error value is either going to be 0 or it's going to be 3. If it's 0, we can continue try inserting, and here's the insert into campus cuisines, inserts the campus. Here's the insert into campus places. Now, what happens is if this thing fails, then we want to return, we want to return the message and the error code. So what we do is just before we attempt to execute this insertion, we set the message and the error code to what it would be if this were to fail. So if this were to fail, then we would want to say that we were trying to insert the campus, and we were trying to insert into the campus cuisines table, and it failed. And the error code is 1. And the reason it would fail is that you're trying to insert a campus cuisine into this table, and it's already in there. Okay, so then this is going to fail. because the primary key of the table is this, and so if it's together. And so if you try to reinsert it again, it's going to get an error. And so the error code is 1, which means that campus already has that cuisine. There's already cuisine of that type at the campus. I'm going to save this just to make sure I got it. Okay, good. No, I messed it up. So, so that is, I'm not going to enter anything more, so I can do this, I guess. Okay, so then, so if we make it down to 32, then we know that this was successful, that this insertion was successful. Then we try to insert it into campus places. I wonder whether there's a way I can recover this. See this, the cursor is all off when I stretched it out. Oh, there, that looks like it fixed it. Okay, so then when I try to insert it into campus places, if this fails, then I want the message to say, inserting into campus places failed, and that error code is 3. Now, it probably, I'm not sure if it'll ever get to this point where this fails, because it may have, well, anyway, I noticed this error code is the same as this error code. Anyway, okay, so now, if this thing fails, or this thing fails, we need to have an exception handler. We need to capture the exception. We need to capture the fault and sort of die gracefully. And to do that, we add an exit handler. This is the exit handler. This is the exit handler for an SQL exception. Okay, so what we do with this exit handler is error is already set to something, and it's going to be passed back out here. Message, however, let's append a little bit more information to the message that's going to go out. And what I do here is first I append what the input parameters were, and then onto that I will append this rollback error message here, saying nothing was inserted. And the reason for that is that if I just noticed that this would get inserted. No, it wouldn't. Oh, never mind. So the error code is equal to something that's going to get passed back here. I pass back this rollback occurs because all of this is in a transaction. Oh yeah, so it's a transaction. So if any of these other insertions took place, then because this is a transaction, if it fails here or it fails here, then it's going to revert back to the way it was before it started. And that's what a transaction is. This in between this start transaction and commit, if there's a SQL exception, it rolls back to the way the database was before the transaction started, just before the transaction started. All right, so this is our stored procedure. We can test the stored procedure here by this one, adding in UHM, burgers, McDonald's, Manoa Marketplace, and the error message we get would be it failed because of 1. And that is that must have failed because, oh, we tried to insert into campus cuisines, and so we would have tried to insert UHM burgers into campus cuisines, and it would have failed because UHM burgers is already in campus cuisines because of Teddy's. So that's why this failed. All right, but we should be able to enter in, anyway. So you can test your thing. I'd like to quickly finish the assignment here. Let me. Hold on a second. All right, let me go back to the assignment. We need to write this little program. Let's take this, and this is basically code that you can that accepts a query string with these arguments, just like that, and it will this is the name of the program, and it'll return a JSON object containing either the error message, or the error message. If it's 0, that means it was successful. So but this also requires the username and the password of your cPanel, username and password. So so it accepts campus, cuisine, and place. And by the way, what this add slashes does is you notice you cannot have single quotes anywhere in SQL statements. In any of these SQL statements, you can't have single quotes. And this add slashes, what this add slashes does is that, for example, with McDonald's Minot Marketplace, you notice that it has a slash in there, and so this adds a couple of slashes before it, and that makes it acceptable as when inserting or in the where clause a constant string value. So so this connects to the database using the host name, which is Richard H. This is your domain name because you're going to enter in your username, and you enter in your password, and it connects to this database, which is the ASM3 campus database. This is your prefix. This is an SQL statement that actually calls your stored procedure. These are the 3 input arguments, and these are the outputs. There's this error message, the error code, and this message. This executes it. This grabs out if there's a MySQL error, which could be all kinds of reasons, like even that and this says, oh no, if there was an exception, if there was an SQL exception, then it's going to come here, and it'll display out what the error message is. Otherwise, if everything was fine, this is how you grab out, this is how you grab out these 2 values. You have another select statement here, which is going to grab out this, and I'm going to refer to it this way, and grabs out this. I'm going to refer to it this way for no special reason. This executes it. This is how you actually get them into PHP variables. And then this is what creates the JSON object. And it's going to send you back the message, the error code, the campus cuisine, and the place. And that's exactly what this looks like. This is the message, the error code, the campus cuisine, and the place. And this is what it's going to look like. All right, so so let's write this code. I'm going to copy this. Copy. I just want to make sure I'm still recording here. Yes, I am. And I guess I am sharing my screen. All right, so I've copied this, and I'm going to go over to make sure I did copy it. Copy, and go over to cPanel, and I'm going to go to File Manager. And let me go to File Manager here, and I'm going to go into public HTML. And I'm going to go right here. Okay, you can ignore all this other crap. Right here, I'm going to create my file, and I'm going to call it addplace.php. So I'm in public HTML inside here. Addplace.php. Here it is. It's empty. I'm going to edit it. Select it, edit. And let me right away paste in what I've got in my clipboard. Got nothing. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is the user coming in, password, so on. We've got, this is the connection. Let me just click on this thing here. This connects to the database. This calls my stored procedure. Now, let's see. Okay, so let's save the changes. I'm going to go to my RJ, not the cPanel, but the regular one. And here it is. When you click on it, it says cannot connect to server. I'm going to modify this code a little bit, and you can too. Let's see. Right here, I'm going to put if user is equal to nothing or password is equal to nothing, then I'm going to do something else. And if those are equal to something, then I can do all this processing here. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And right here, I'm going to say, let's see, I'm going to get out of PHP. And, but I got to get back in to finish this up. And I'm going to say, just like that. So I'm going to save the changes. And now when I go over here and I hit refresh, it says error. Why? Because user password, it's not equal to 0, so it comes out of the PHP here. It might be clearer if I put this back like this. And so this is a section of code. This is regular old HTML here. And so I'm going to put a little form here. I'm going to put a form to ask for these parameters, and the form is going to come back and just execute all this code again. But when it comes back, presumably these parameters will have values. So a real quick way to do that, I'm just going to do real quick and dirty here. I'm going to do user : text input type. I don't even have to put the type. Input name equals user. And I'm going to just do a break. And I'm going to do password and input. And this time I'm going to type password. Name equals password, pass, because it's got to be this. And then I'm going to do a break. And then I'm going to do campus. And it's going to be like this. Campus, cuisine, place. Campus, cuisine, place. And this has got to be this, campus. And this has got to be cuisine, this one. It's got to be place. And this is a form, so I got to do form action equals, and I got to do the name of this program, so it comes back to it. And I don't know what's the name of this program. It's add place .php. There. Come right back here. Oops, this thing should go down here. And I don't want you to see any of this in the URL. So I'm going to make it method equals post. So that way you won't see all these parameters in the URL. All right, I'm going to just take a look at this and save this. And over here, hit refresh. Here's my little form. Oh, look, and it populated it with the old stuff. I'm going to just do one quick thing here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Style equals width colon 250 pixels. Just to make it a little bit bigger. All right. And so, look, it's all populated and everything. So I need a submit button. Let's put a submit button here. Input type equals submit. Value, this is what it's going to say. Value equals enter. Just enter. That's fine. Oops. Close the HTML tag. Now, what does it look like? There's a submit button. Okay. So I'm just gonna, with these values, it's burgers. B-U-R burgers. What does this do? Enter. No. Okay, here it comes back. Message. The message is inserting this into this failed. It does the rollback thing. Now, why doesn't it look like this? Well, you got to put in a little tag here. You got to say what it is. You got to say. You got to put a header deal. Where is that? This thing here. Here, if you're going to output some JSON, like right here, you got to first do a header thing here, and that'll send out this header that says it's JSON. Otherwise, back up here, and I'm going to actually put a header in here for HTML, because if we're going to be flipping back and forth, the HTML one looks like this, text HTML. And now let's save this. And now when we do refresh, let's go back here. Okay, this is when it's got nothing. We can hit submit, and it says, this is currently in database as a burgers place. Now it's okay, okay. All right, so this looks like that. All right, so let me stop sharing here. And here we go. Yeah. So we are, so that takes care of assignment 4.1. And I'll come back again and cover 4.2 a little later today. Thanks for watching.